Hello there! What is going on, everyone? Today we are going to be running through the learning mission of Star Trek Into the Unknown that was included with the preview kit. We are going to be playing through this scenario and just taking the Defiant up against a Jem'Hadar fighter. Hopefully this will kind of whet your appetite a little bit for Star Trek Into the Unknown as we get closer and closer to the official release of the full core game, and of course more will be coming. So if you're interested in tabletop games, spaceship games, Star Trek games, Star Wars games, anything in this arena, you're in the right place. Love to have you guys stick around. We still have time left for that $50 Amazon gift card giveaway that's running, and through the end of the month, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. So to get set up, we're going to be starting with the Jem'Hadar fighter right here on the edge of system number 1. He is going to be marked with a ship token 1 and the system number 1 token that's going to go into the ship base to indicate that he is in system 1. This is important because you can play this game with multiple systems. We've got like system 2 here, system 3 here, so on and so forth. The Defiant is going to be starting outside of the system, so kind of in deep space, so will not have a system 1 marker. And we're going to set the Defiant up over on this section outside over here. So starting with the Defiant, one of the first things we're going to do is try and enter the system, and to do that we're going to need to do a warp maneuver, and since warp is at the captain's chair, Cisco is going to exhaust and call in the warp maneuver. So we're going to exhaust him and flips him over to his pretty face showing, and then we're going to go straight. You can't turn when you're doing a warp maneuver, so I'll just put this in, and we can go up to, the warp value here is 9, so it means we can go up to twice that. And so I'm going to, I could go really far. And you know, in this case, a lot of times what I would do is I would try to stop right here next to this objective and try to scan it. But I'm going to come in a little bit farther ahead, and maybe I will threaten these guys. So then I'll slide this all the way up. I could go all the way up to 18, which would be this plus 6. 1, 2... 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you go up to about this far, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to stop right there. We'll have a little fun, be a little aggressive. I think a lot of times when you're playing this the first time, you normally will do this. You kind of go for your objectives first, and then eventually resort to combat if need be. But one of the other things you can do is you can disrupt the opponent's objectives, which also does count as a hostile action. Now, because Cisco had enough required symbols there, we're only going to have to pay 1 energy to do that warp maneuver, so we go down to 5. All right, the Jem'Hadar fighter now wants to also move, but since they're already in the system, they don't have to do warp, so they are going to use their helm instead of the captain's chair to do the impulse maneuver. So the Jem'Hadar second will then flip over. We are currently at green alert. Which means we have a impulse turn value of 3, so we can turn quite a bit, and we're going to use this tool. Now, this tool is slightly different than the ones that we're actually going to see in the set. This one only is cut into 4 pizza slices, but we should have 5 pizza slices in there. But 3 basically gives us a lot of turning ability. And what the Jem'Hadar wants to do is they're actually going to be a little different in this one. They're not going to straight up attack the Federation. Again, this is more of a diplomatic mission, but they are going to try and get to their objective before the Federation player can get there. So we're going to turn about up to here, and then lock this one in, and we can go up to 10 with impulse. But we are just going to try to get about right here, and we're going to stop about this far out. Boom, right there. Actually, we'll go back a little bit more. I think I'd rather stop about right there. Still going to be within sensor range for sure, but in case I don't want to necessarily give my rear to the Defiant too much, and I want to be able to still turn and face them because I think I imagine there's going to be some shooting happening. All right, we go back to the Defiant, which now wants to take an impulse maneuver. Since warp was from the captain's chair and impulse is from helm, we can go ahead and exhaust our daring first officer to do a helm action, which is going to be an impulse maneuver. And we have pretty much the same maneuverability, at least currently at green alert, that the Jem'Hadar fighter has. So we're going to do this, but we're not going to go nearly as far. The goal here is we're going to try and get into sensors range of the Jem'Hadar's objective here. And while we're not openly firing, we are being hostile. Well, not technically hostile, but we're being disruptive to the Jem'Hadar. We're just going to turn a little bit, and we're going to go. About this far. Oh, there we go. And the idea here is that when the Jem'Hadar try to scan, their scan is going to be more difficult if there's another enemy ship within sensor range. And we're going to go up to about there. And we're going to just kind of get in their business. We're just coming over here saying, "Hey guys, what you doing? Scanning some Federation junk? Wouldn't mind if we happen to observe, would you?" And we're really starting to annoy them, and that's going to make their tests more difficult, which is what they're going to do next. All right, we go back to now the Dominion player who is going to try and do the mission action here of threat analysis. And that's going to use the command stat and discipline. Now, the instrumentation, who's a Karima researcher, does not have discipline, so we're just going to be looking at the command stat. They will exhaust, which is going to be command stats 3, so we're going to roll 3 dice. Now the difficulty normally would be 2, but in the case of the Defiant also being at sensor range, that has increased the difficulty to 3, although that is not a hostile action, just being close. So being in the way and making things more difficult isn't outright attacking. However, if the Defiant player were to, had gone first here, they might have tried to take that from them. That would have been a hostile action. So right now, Dominion players just getting annoyed with the Defiant being in the way. They're gonna do. Oh wow! Okay, so we have a 3. We could reroll up to we could reroll a die because of instrument, but I don't think I want any rerolls here. Difficulty's 3. We have 4 successes. Now actually we can reroll 1 die. I already have 3 and have a breakthrough, which is going to give me an extra victory point. I'll reroll that one blank. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't make a difference. I was hoping maybe I could have gotten an analysis to shift the influence tracker, but that's okay. So yeah, so we have enough successes. We're going to complete that scan, and we're going to get a bonus victory point. So even though the Dominion player was hoping to get that analysis result to kind of shift influence just a little bit farther to their side to give them a little security in this mission, that didn't exactly work out. But they got an extra victory point, so they're sitting at 2 victory points right now, which means now maybe they don't have to go start shooting at the at the Defiant. But then again, if they do decide to start shooting, maybe they have enough of a lead that they can avoid they can account for and mitigate that 2 victory point deficit. So it could definitely be nice. Now, because again, whoever starts combat first suffers a 2 victory point penalty in this learning game. So it's basically saying, no, we're not at war yet right now at this point. This is kind of like early Deep Space Nine, where we've we're still on roughly diplomatic terms. Now, this went disastrously wrong for the Federation. They were hoping to make this, that their mere presence would increase the difficulty, and then these guys would fail, and thus, there would be a 2-point swing if it were the other way around. Then the the Federation player could have tried to take away their objective here, which would have been a hostile act, but would have also denied them the opportunity to get more points. So there's a lot of things that could have happened, but simply being in the wrong spot, can be a way to make things more difficult. So I thought that was really interesting, the way that happened. Now the Defiant's like, well, we're definitely not going to war with these guys. They're already 2 victory points ahead of us. We can't go back 4. We'll lose the mission for sure. So their best bet is to try to retreat and turn around. But since they've already moved, they can't. So they're going to pass, and then the Dominion rather is also going to pass. So over here we're going to ready up to 3 committed officers, which in this case is only 2 per ship. So all the officers will be readied, and we'll increase our reserve power by 1 each in this case. So going back up a little bit, so we have a little more power for next turn. So again, you don't want to just blow your whole load on one big power turn, unless of course it's a really important turn. The other thing we have to do is the hazard phase, where both of these guys are within 2 inches of this hazard token. So while they did not move over it, they are going to begin the hazard phase, each of them within 2, and this is going to be number 3. Oh wow, that was lucky. So according to the mission, If it's number 3, that means it's a frozen gas deposit, and so it gains an advantage token. They each are going to gain an advantage token. So those are the little plus tokens. Defiant is going to also adjust to right there. We're going to adjust our alert status by 1, what you get to do. Might do it some more with Cisco later on if we need to, but this still gives me a little bit less inches, but still quite a bit of turnability. And the Jem'Hadar fighter was actually going to remain at green alert, favoring the longer range because they want to get to that other objective. They're going to actually, they got a smart Vorta on board, and they're going to remain peaceful in this case because they know they have the upper hand. All right, so Defiant is going to start things off with an impulse maneuver, and they're going to max out that turn at speed 3, and they're going to go a full 8 inches this way. This is going to get them hopefully back on track, and this will come down to the 8th inch. Actually, they're going to go to probably about right there, and no, they're going to go down a little bit more. The idea here, oh shoot, maybe just this way. Yeah, I don't. No, they're going to go about that far. They wanted to get this thing in their front arc, and I don't think they quite got it in range. Let's measure. So we did adjust our settings. So we actually have plus 2 inches to our sensor range, and in our front arc, it's going to be 4 plus the 2. So we actually had we had 6 inches total. But even if our sensor setting was lower, we would have made it within the 4 inches. So we are going to be able to at least try and take a mission action this time, which is good. And we do also happen to have the advantage token, which is going to give us a die reroll, which is also nice. So we're going to be good. We're going to stop there after doing our helm's impulse maneuver, and now it's going to go to the Jem'Hadar player, who is also going to impulse as well, and they're going to have 10 inches, and so they're going to do some crazy stuff. Jem'Hadar will also exhaust their helmsman, and they'll flip over. We did the same with the Federation, and they are still at a 3 for their movement. However, they're going to do about that much, and they're going to try and lock in a good 10 inches of movement here. So, boom, and that's going to get them pretty close. They're going to go to about there. Yeah, about there, and then we'll pick them up and set them down. And I wanted to get a little farther, but I couldn't. So I'm just because the ship was in the way of this guy kind of doing that stuff. So, but yeah, basically we're going to be able to scan again and try to take the lead, and that's where we're jumping to. We're going for aggressive scanning right now. The Defiant will exhaust our redoubtable engineer, and we're going to try and do a test on this object in front of us. Now, the difficulty is only going to be 2 since there is no enemy ship nearby. The Jem'Hadar are like, we don't have to stick around. We can press the advantage. So Defiant's going to go ahead and roll, and wow, that's a really good roll. Breakthrough successes. That's going to give us 3 victory points. 1 for completing, and then 2 more breakthrough successes. Federation's got the lead, folks. All right, Jem'Hadar are going to go ahead and take their test now, exhausting the Karema Researcher, and they will go ahead and roll. They've got 1 success, 1 analysis, and a blank. Now we can re-roll 1, so we're going to get that other success, and so we didn't get the breakthrough success. So it's going to make it a tie game, 3-3. But this is a beautiful thing because that's going to shift the influence tracker 1 more to that side. So at the end of round 2, it is still a tie on points, but the Federation really needs to get to this one. They have an advantage in a way that they can potentially gain more points, but there is an obstacle in the way. And also the Dominion just has to fly over here and just kind of make it a more difficult test for them. All right, the Defiant is going to go ahead and do a hard 3. And we're gonna stay where we're at as far as our setting. I don't think we need a full 10 inches, knowing what we know from before. So we're gonna try not to overlap this thing. We're gonna stop right there. But we've definitely got the range in the front, so we'll be able to do a scan on that. And then the Jem'Hadar are going to do the same thing. So Federation exhaust their daring first officer. Jem'Hadar second is going to get exhausted as well. He's got more range, and also doesn't really want to be too close to the anomaly there, because, well, frankly, I know which ones we put in here, and we already got the good one. So we're going to kind of go like that a little bit. Yeah. Like that a little bit. Yeah. There's a trick to, and we have all the just this normal, but there is a trick to it where you are because you're flying on the side. So as you get better at maneuvering, you'll realize you want to be just a certain range. The idea is I was just trying to get into 2 inches of that to make this a little bit more of a difficult test. And of course, that's what they're going to do. The Dominion, I'm sorry, the Defiant. I keep mixing up Dominion and Defiant because they start with a D, but now it is the Federation. The Defiant's turn. They're going to try and do this test. Now the difficulty is going to be 3 this time. So let's see how they roll. Oh, and not good, not good. Now we do have a single reroll from the test, which gives us 2. It's not enough there. We have an advantage token. We'll spend the advantage token. We'll see what we get. We got analysis, but that's a fail. The analysis also is not good because it's not enough to pull it into the blue side. So it's going to only go 2 right there, which is very bad for the Federation. And now, of course, the Dominion could try to mess with it and declare war, or Dominion could just wait them out. So the Dominion's gonna exhaust their captain and do a call alert and adjust our. We're gonna adjust a little bit more closer to combat status, because we are gonna basically wrap up with the influence still on the starting position side. And what that really means here is that we are going to switch to the Dominion's Complication, and that's kind of where we're going to end the gameplay for today. I wanted this just to be a little bit of a quicker, a little short intro, but this is now going to say that we have to attack these bases, and it's the thing that's great for the Dominion player is that this allows us to switch to both players now switch to the hostile side. They're both hostile now, so now we're not going to lose any 2 victory points if we attack the other ship, which is a very cool thing. So we have some fun lined up for us here. Now, I do feel like in this scenario, normally the Federation has a little bit of an advantage in that the Defiant's a really good ship, and the Jem'Hadar fighter is not really the best ship. But in this case, it just goes to show that the story can certainly impact things. The Federation thought that they were going to kind of stick their nose where it didn't belong, but the skilled Vorta said, you know, let's just be our very best right now and make those Federation scum eat their words. And it really feels like something that could have happened in an episode of Deep Space Nine, and so I really love it. But let me know some of your thoughts. How would you have played it a little differently? And would you have gone to combat? We didn't really do any combat yet, but we've kind of shown how your positioning can certainly negatively impact your opponent. So you can still have tactical adversarialness without actually firing phasers. So pretty cool. Again, this just shows a whole lot of what can be done with the game. And of course, it doesn't end here. There's also other scenarios, and of course, we have the full core set coming out soon. So very exciting. I want to thank you guys for watching. Big thanks to WizKids for sending out the preview kit, and thanks to all of my patrons. You guys help make this whole channel possible. That's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and may the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. The spice must flow, so say we all. And you can't take the sky from me. And always wash your socks.